We are continuing the project of Lekutei Siches. Tonight is Beis Nissen. Very appropriate to learn the Sicha of Beis Nissen. What chelik is it? Chelik Chov Zayin. Chelik Chov Zayin Beis Nissen. And there's a star next to it, and it says, Shem Mistalkus Shel Kveit B'Lushas Admur Ma'ashab Nishmos Eden, Beis Nissen, Tov Reish Pei. The Stalkus of the Rebbe Rashab, Beis Nissen, Tov Reish Pei. Very Geschmack Sicha. The Rebbe is going to, I think, what the Sicha is to learn from it. The Rebbe Rashab said something right before he passed away. Right before the Stalkus he said something. And the Rebbe is going to say what it means to us, and the Rebbe is also going to go in unbelievable. The two things that I think we could learn from the Sicha is, number one, as the Rebbe is medayik, all Sicha, a diuk of the Lashon of the Rebbe Rashab, why he said it like this. And the other thing is that the Rebbe is testifying on himself. The Rebbe tells us about the Rebbe Rashab, what he says, that if it is Torah, you get connected to him. Be'etzem mamish, you get the etzem of the Rebbe Rashab. The same as we learn Torah, we get connected to the Eibishter. We could learn about us and the Rebbe the same thing. And that's what I said. The biggest truth is that they make in every house, every week in a different place. The Sicha brings them broches and everything in Atzloch. Oy Salif. Says Yadua was quite good at that movement. Rashab Nishmos Eden had gesagt, Shois HaChodesh Lefnei Stalkusei. A few hours before he passed away, he said, Irgei in Himmel, the Ksovim lo zechayst. I'm going in heaven and I'm leaving you the Ksovim. When she read kama poemim, as shlo imad in pirush in them, the Rebbe spoke about it a lot of times. The Rebbe said we spoke up a few times already. As durch the Ksovim, otmanim. That he left the Ksovim, and you take the Ksovim you learn, you have the Rebbe with you. And noch mehr, meotim gefindt sich in Himmel. It's even more than when he's alive, that you have him as he's now in Himmel, and you're learning his Torah, so you have the Rebbe Rashab as he's in this mile of heaven. Warum? Tzadikim doimim leboirom. Brings then a Medrash Bereshis Rabbe. The tzadikim are similar to the Creator, to the Eibishter. And the Rebbe, Kashem with the Eibishter had Kavi Yochel sich hereingegeben in Torah. The same as the Eibishter put himself in his Torah. With the Pirush HaYodua, the Gemara says in Shabbos, in Maimar Chazal, Ano nafshi ksovis yovis. The Gemara says, and the first word of the Aseres HaDibros is Anoichi. Very interesting to mention also that people don't know sometimes that Anoichi is not a Hebrew word. Anoichi is a Mitzri word, and what the Gemara says, the Rebbe says, Anoichi became a Lashon Kodesh word. Anoichi means me, and Anoichi Misho Anoichi, and the Gemara says Anoichi is an acronym. Ano Nafshis Ksovis Yovis. Aleph Nun Chof Yud. What does it mean? As the Rebbe Shtorot Alein, it says Nafshi. It doesn't say Ano Ksovis, Ano Esatzmi, Ano Nafshi Ksovis Yovis. Nafshi hereingeschrieben und hereingegeben in Teuro. Was davor ist durch Teuro, Oishi Atem Leuchem, as the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, very geschmack, very long, that through Teuro, you take the Eibishter. You want to have the Eibishter, the only way you could do it is through Teuro. You learn Teuro. Chochmah Zerutzen, the Alter Rebbe is master, that your Seichel is making the Chochmah is making your Seichel, and you become one. I think the Lashon on Teuro is, Ein Ichud, Shein Ichud, Komoyu, Goylo. Unbelievable Ichud it becomes with learning his Torah. So the Rebbe says the same thing as we say by the Eibishter. The Gemara says, Klo, as Tzadikim bleiben leboiron, same as the Eibishter Rezet, is al derech zeh by Tzadikim. As they give sich herein in the Inyonet Torah, they put themselves in it. The Eibishter says, I don't have shiksovis. I put myself in. I wrote myself into the Torah. Was haben gelernt. Und befragt, the Rebbe adds on something in the parenthesis, very geschmack, was the mechadish gewesen. Especially things that they were mechadish in Torah, it's going to be relevant by the end of the Sicha about the Chidushim of the Rebbe Rashab in his Ma'amorim. Und davor, durch Limut Rosom, verbindet man sich mit sie alle. You get connected with the Rebbe. Base. Now the Rebbe is going to go in, and as we said before, the Rebbe is going to be medayik in the Lashon, just poshet geschmack. Vergleichen dich dem Lashon, if you want to compare the Lashon von der Rebbe Nishmos Eden mit Lashon Chazal anal, die Gemara in Shabbos, Ano Nafshi Ksovis Yovis, בקשר למתן תורה, זאת man a shinui. There's a difference in tzadikim doimim leboiron and in tzadik as the Rebbe Rashab did. What do we see? In Chazal is the Lashon Yeovis. Yeovis means Lashon Nesinem. Adon nafshi ksovis Yeovis, I gave it to you. Soon the Rebbe going to explain very geschmack what the difference between giving and the Rebbe Rashab said, the ksovim lo zichayich. I'm living it. In first glancing, before you go learn what the Rebbe says, Yeovis means I'm going over, I'm giving it to you. Yeah? Yeovis. What does it mean? Ichlos? I left it. You want, you could take it. You don't want, you don't take it. Or it depends on your avoider. Yeovis, I'm giving it to you. You don't have to do nothing. This is the difference. The Rebbe is going to ask, why did the Rebbe Rashab say it? Der time of them is schlimmer lechoir, the Rebbe wants to give a geschmacken answer, why the Rebbe Rashab said this lotion. The Rebbe says, no, according to our VR, know that the words of the Rabbeim are so precise in everything, it could be that it's true, but there has to be a optimistic understanding why the Rebbe Rashab used this lotion. The time of them is schlimmer lechoir, weil das ist beetem mit matzav demon. It fits with the situation that the Rebbe Rashab was there. Shois achodos livnei stalkus. So velachnes passed, because it was before his talkus, it fits the lotion los. Wie man gewinnt in der Loche, bei Matnas Schriftmera, dem lotion, ani meiniach. Or the Rebbe brings down footnote number 9, could be also ani oizev. I'm living it. The halacha is as a schriftmera. Somebody who's very sick and you know that he's almost gone. If he says to do something, you have to be kind whatever he says. And if he says, I'm leaving it for him, you have to go and give it to him. And same thing is, here, the Rebbe Rashab said lost, because it was right before. Wie sagt man auf Englisch, Stalkus ist schwer das Wort. Also ich sag mal einfach, so ein bisschen modern. Stalkus ist Stalik, verkehrt, Jotum Bechayoi. No, I'm talking about the Rebbe. It says, the Rebbe says, live in Stalkusoi. How do you say it in English? It is? Yeah. It is? Okay. So I think was ook nog andere die? Ah, okay. All right. Now I got it. Okay. Okay. Good. After all, I'm Israeli. I mean. Okay. So the Rebbe tried to give the answer that it fits with the time that it was. Aber, I can say it. Al Pia Meduba kam upon wegen dem Geutel Diuk. It's Gomer Rabbi saying the precise in everything that was careful on every word. As the Diuk is not only because the Teuchna Kloli, because it was before he passed away, he said the Losha, I'm leaving it, as a Schriftmara said, and he's stop. Now, in jedem word, not only the Teuchen, the whole thing is, even every word. It's Mistava Loima, you could say, as the Diuk Aloshin los Zichai, I'm leaving it to you, is nicht nur mit der Seite Linie, mit der Matze, bei welchen das ist gesagt geworden. It's only because, not only because it was in this situation before passing, no, das ist Negea auch zum Teuchen o Inyen. Was der Rebbe nicht muss reden und gewollt auch rausbringen, in wenn Pisgom, als durchlernen seine Ksovim, nimmt man ihm allein Kinal. He wanted to emphasize something. What did he want to emphasize? The Rebbe is going to explain. Ois Gimel. The chiluk zwischen the zweile schöne Sanal, Yehovis means giving, and losing, I'm leaving it, you could take it. The Sine is madgish, as das kommt on zu mekabel, mikoyach hanoise. I'm giving something to somebody, it comes from me, I'm giving it to you. And as the Rebbe says in footnote 11, beautiful, v'chem b'mayim ha'chazal anal, ano nafshik sovis Yehovis. So the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, what does it mean? שהקדוש ברוך הוא, quotation from Tanya, נוסן לנו את עצמו יקוויוכל. Not צמצומים, not גילויים. עצם of the Eibishter, you take דווקא ותרא. So this is the idea with Nesine. She's nicht mukach kein Pule, and another thing is, she's nicht mukach kein Pule mitzad HaMekabel, she bekommen the matone. He's giving it to him. He doesn't have to do nothing. Mashenkin laws, I'm leaving it, meint dass der Neuesten gibt bloß the Efshorius. He gives you the possibility, as der Zweite soll es nehmen. And if you want, you take it. If you don't want, you don't take it. Kedebas, das soll bepoil, onkommen zum Zweiten Rishus. If it has to come, if you want it to come to you, muss jener das allein nehmen, he has to do something to go and take it and pick it up, because he just left it. He didn't give it to you. It's very funny, those two things, Nesine und Los, giving and living, die findet man durch Mosom in Limud HaTorah. Der Rebbe said in footnote number 12, was schenken wir Matan Torah. Im Matan Torah, der Rebbe gave. But Limud HaTorah, when you learn Torah, there's two ways of learning Torah. There's a way of learning Torah of Nesine, that you're getting it, and a way of Limud HaTorah, it's the Rebbe lost it, or the Rebbe Rashab lost it, and you have to work on to getting it, as the Rebbe is going to explain it. It's very funny in Nesine und Los, giving and living, die findet man durch Mosom in Limud HaTorah. Wie Chazal sagen, der Rebbe bringt dann vom die Gemara in Avodah Zorah, בתחילו נקראת התורה על שמו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, das a posik in Kapitel Aleph in Tilim. It says, Besoiras Hashem chefzoi, ubesoiroso yege. So when you learn it simple, and I think some of us learn it like this, Besoiras Hashem chefzoi, is yawning, is will, is rotzen, is the Rebbe Shastera, ubesoiroso, in the Rebbe Shastera, yege is learning. But the Rebbe says differently. The Rebbe says, betchilo. Chazal brings down from the Gemara. The Gemara says, that Nikras HaTorah al Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It says, "B'Torah Hashem Cheftzoi." Then David HaMelech is finishing with the Besoiv, Nikras al Shmo De Aloimet. B'Torah Soi, in his Torah, the one that's learning Yege. When we learn Torah blows the Migras, so when is it? How does it go? When is it Torah Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu? When is it Torah Shaloi? So the Rebbe says, when we learn Torah blows the Migras, you learn Girse, is the Torah Nikras al Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does it mean? It's the Messiach zum Neusner Torah. Yeah, you say that the Neusner Torah, he gave it to you. When is it becoming yours Torah? Shas, aber es ist voran der Jäge. Rashi says that. Rashi says in the Gemara. It means iyun Torah. Iyun means toiling, exerting yourself, and working very hard to understand the Torah. Is jemalt nikras hashmoi. Then it's called on this person that is learning. Die Divrei Torah wären seine. Wie bald why? Bald genommen durch sein Yegi. We're beginning already to have a little bit understanding what the idea of living, that it needs your Yegi to be able to get it. Torah, till the Lashon is in Kiddushin, Torah, delay, it becomes this Torah. According to what we just learned, the difference between the sinner and the giving and living, and the difference that in learning Torah there's two ways. There's the sin and there is also living it. So the students will understand the emphasis that Rebbe Rashab said, the Rebbe underlined, I'm living it to you, not I'm giving it to you. And das ist beätem mit dem Chidush Sheloi, in neuen Giluter. It has to do with the Rebbe Rashab, how he did in revealing Chassidus. Was hat aufgetan, als der Soge in Pnimis HaTorah soll kennen sein, in ganzen mit Koyach sich leider mekabel verlemet. The Rebbe Rashab, with this that he left it, he wanted us to be able to take it in a way that we should understand that it's going to be explained more in detail later in the Sikha. Was nimmt the Inyonim Anilmodim, the Lekamon. This the Rebbe put away the Siddur. They said this is the idea, the Chidush of the Rebbe Rashab. We're going to see what it is. Ois Dalet. Und die Chidush im Ikrim von dem Rebbe Lishmotoiden Yeshloima, as is given, the Siyazdus von Yeshivas Tem Chetmimim, it says in the footnotes, Tezvov Elul Tov Reish Nezayim, was der Oiftu von der Yeshiva is, in the Rebbe said in footnote 19, Gam legabe Yeshiva Belbavitch b'mei Tzemach Tzedek. There was a Yeshiva of the Tzemach Tzedek in Lubavitch, and the Rebbe Rashab made the Yeshiva. So what's the innovation? There was already a yeshiva. There's a major difference in the yeshiva of the Tzemach Tzedek, in the yeshiva of the Rebbe Rashab, and it goes till today. And we know till today, once atomim, forever atomim. Eimol atomim, bleibt atomim. And what's the idea of the chidush of the Rebbe Rashab's yeshiva? So the Rebbe says, what is the chidush von Limud? I'm sorry. As is eingestellt geworden in Sidrei Limud yeshiva, a seder von Limud Chassidus. There is in the morning we learn Chassidus, in the evening we learn Chassidus, in the middle of the day is the end of learning Nigle and everything. So this is the idea that I was going to explain what is the Chiddush in that, what is the advantage of it. What is the Chiddush? The Rebbe asked, what's the Chiddush for Limud Chassidus in the Bezgeres from a yeshiva? What are we gaining here with that? The reason for a yeshiva is, the mile of a yeshiva is Limud HaTorah, Boifin Shel Dibuk Chaverim, פלפול התלמידים וכולו, was durch der Schakle וטל יכולו, is במלאבן ומברר the sugya, was man lernt, bis die kommt heraus, klar, lechol poter. But it's a Machzad could also learn Chassidus. But each one learned Chassidus, whatever. When it comes here, there's a shir in Chassidus in Yeshiva, and then you see Chavruses after the shir, or the days that there's no shir, they learn together. The whole Yeshiva learns the same Chassidus, and one group, 2 people or 3 people learning together, a Chavruse, they don't understand, they go to the next group, and maybe you understand this. So this is what comes out. Dibuk Chaver and Pilpul Talmidim Chassidus became the same as Nigle. This is the Chidush of the Rebbe Rashab. Weil der Rebbe Nishmo said, eingeführt bin ich her, so limut teres Chassidus. As Chassidus soll gelernt werden auf a yeshivish Neufen. Besides that we learn Dibuk Chaver and Pilpul Talmidim, it should be learned the same as we learn yeshivish limut in Nigle. Wie hat gesagt, the Rebbe Rashab said himself, it says in a brief of the Frierdiker Rebbe in Atomim, as will, as the Oifen Limud Chassidus soll sein, quotation from the Rebbe Rashab, the Limud Asugis, Kel Limud Asugis, the Galish Betorah, the same as we learn Galish Betorah. Please, again the loss of the Rebbe Rashab, a Chassidus Yovinu, כמו שמבינים עניין בניגלה. Und therefore, and because of that, hat reingestellt im Seder von Limud Chassidus in der Yeshiva. As when they learn Agudois as mentioned before. Yeah, we learned the Chavruses with the same shir and the same sefer and everything. Yet, and even before Gimel Tammuz, or maybe before in the Yuds, in the Chovs, maybe in the Lamets a little bit, the yeshiva used to go into the Rebbe every month to give him a duch of the Bochrim. And when there's a new year came, they asked the Rebbe what safer to learn than this year.
In Chassidus.
Yeah. Maybe Nigla also. Nigla, I don't know, but I know Chassidus for sure. Because when I came here, in the first year that we had Rabbi Jacobson, he told us that the Rebbe told them what to learn, and the Hanole wrote into the Rebbe what they think. The Rebbe, they should say what they think, the Rebbe would say it. So the Rebbe asked why, and they gave the reason. The Rebbe says, no, they should learn what the Rebbe says. So the Rebbe was always assigning this form that we should learn. And so many years, I don't remember what it was the first sefer that we learned there. Maybe it was Mama Friedrich Rebbe of Yud, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Als wir so lernen, Agudas, hier kommt Agudas. Jeder Agudas soll lernen, demselben Minion, demselben Sugje. As we come into Gemorre in 770 and all the other yeshivas in Lubavitch, everybody has the same Sichte. Every year the same Sichte. Ich sehe, bei dem soll sich durchreden. Should be able to people tell mit ihm. In dem Indien, bis das der Rien wird klar werden bei die Lomdim lechol Protov, al derech dem Seder Alimut von Yalsunter. This is the Chidush of the Rebbe Rashab. Was Zauifen von Limit B'Misatero, stellt man sich vor, a Chidush Ikri, der gab es Mann Shlifnese. Before that, there was no such thing. And the Rebbe is going to explain how it was in the previous times, even before the Alter Rebbe, the Arizal in all the times, how the Limud Achsidus was, and the Chidush of the Rebbe Rashab, even the Alter Rebbe and the Mittel Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, in the Rebbe Marash. As the Rebbe is mentioning later in the Orel, very interesting that it's known by Chassidim that they used to call the Rebbe Rashab the Rambam of Chassidus. What I say? In Friedrich's money, in previous times, is given a chilik ikri zwischen Limud Nigle de Teuro and Limud Primis Teuro. There was a major difference between Chassidus and Nigle. Nigle de Teuro is gegeben geworden in a Neufen, as das Seichel Nushi, a Seichel Agashmis dike Seichel, von a Nivro soll kennen Teufel sein, des Svores, ve Seichel Teuro. Der Rebbe brought down, the Alter Rebbe uses the lotion, a Teuro no so veyodo, the Teuro came down, we Tzimtzumim, in Mord Tzimtzumim, we look in Nigle de Teuro, what do we see? Steinmeier is metallic, Shoshon Saporo, Kate the regular, everything is pushed by Gashmis that comes down in Seichel Nushi. Dafalpi, the Rebbe says, but still, was Teuro is, even with its Tzimtzumim, it's still Chochmosoi, LaKodesh Baruch Hu, the Les Machshavet Visebe. How could we understand it? How could we get it? But the Rebishter Arab Gemidert, the Rebishter gave it's a special blessing from the Rebishter. He lowered it, Chochmosoi is Bach Boifen, as Zoich Seichel Oenushi, the key is a Nushi. Seichel Nushi soll es keine begreifen, bis Boifen von Nikras al Shmoi, es wird ein Rossoi Teure Dilei. Es will lernen von die Gemorre in Avodah Zarah. This is all in Nigle the Teure. Mashenkim, Misatero, what was it in the previous times, in the old times, bleibt begolui, Teuras Hashem. What do we learn in Chassidus? Teuras Hashem is in go Friedrich Deures in a lot of years before, in Friedrich Deures, Roiv Bnei Israel genommen den Yonim mit Emune. It was ein of Emune, Mamish, the opposite of Seichel. Seichel reaches to a certain place, then comes Emune. Emune is a much higher level. She's given Echa von Seichel an Nivro. As soll haben in dem Atfisse, kennt der Atfisse, because it's Teuras Hashem. The Rebbe underlined Teuras Havaya, the A. The Shlomo as there me Pirush, Shem Kabbalah, very interesting, as by the way in the brackets. Why is it called Kabbalah? What's Kabbalah? Kabbalah is, Kabbalah is not something that you walked on it, not something that you understand. It's a Kabbalah, and that's it. Emunah. Viele in the später Dictators, even in the later generations, after the Arizal said, it's from the Arizal, yeah? Mitzvah legalo is Veisa Chochma. Wenn die Unionen vom Primis Teuro sind in Isparisch geworden, in Neufen, bis wir so kennen sein, Ispanesun. Ispanesun means that the loss of Ispanesun is Zoya, means that somebody eats something, it's Parnos, what happens, it becomes Damu Bosor Kipsore. Same thing is when you learn Chassidus. Before they learn Emunah, it's nothing to do with you, it's nothing absorbed in you. Ispanesun means that it becomes a part of you, it becomes like Damu Bosor Kipsore. Wir sollen verstehen, that's the idea, wir sollen verstehen, nicht nur bei von Girse Bealme. Dann ist aber nicht darauf getrunken geworden, bis zu Seichel Nushi, bis also soll sie kennen, Teufel sein. It was a change from the Arizal, but still not as it's supposed to be. Footnote 27, Reak Domas Harav Chaim Vital. Look what it says. Ein Sofik, there's no doubt. שהדבורים אלו לא יובנו בעיון אנושי חומרים. It's impossible that a Seichel Nushi, a coarse Seichel Nushi should understand it. Das ist verblieben Seichel Eliki. It's a Seichel Eliki. was kann man nur werden, nur mit dem Seichel von Nefesh Elikis. Who could grasp it? Only the Nefesh Elikis. There's a göttlicher Seichel von a göttlicher Neshome. Because it's the Neshome is the Elikus. He could understand Elikus. And can Teuf design, it could grasp the Ruchnis, the Kenyonim, was werden es bei im Pnimius a Teuro. So this was in Chassidus, even in the later generations. The Shloimar, as the far is in Sheder had gekent massive sein die Yonim, who could have grasped the Yonim. If I say that it's a Seichel Eloiki, only the Neshama could understand that as to be something by the person that he should be able to get it. What did he need it? He needed, if he had a Echer and Neshama, the Rebbe gave him a Neshama that it's a higher level, and dazu noch, that's not enough. The is sich mezacher gewenke the boy, or vera kele tvis galus an Neshama, he has to work on himself. Because after all, he's a Neshama in a goof. So he has to be mezacher, purifying himself. He should be able to understand what is in Pnimius HaTorah, in Rosi Torah, in Chassidus. Mashenki Develeche, the Rebbe says clear. Those people that they not, the Rebbe doesn't mention that they don't have a Neshama. The Rebbe mentioned only the people that they didn't purify themselves. Oh, I'm sorry. Und ob nicht keine Shabbat, they don't have a Neshama Gvoya, and they didn't purify themselves, ob nicht gekannt, ob ma so im Pnimius HaTorah. Was das ist eine von das Boris in Divrei Zoya, als im Pnimius HaTorah, is leist amon, lo ikashe v'chulu, nicht wie nigle de Torah. This is, now we'll understand what the Zoya says, that there's no kushis. The Rebbe is going to explain what is the problem with the question. What's the problem with it? Akashe is doch aniyen von Elem Vester. What does it mean? You learn the Gemara. Omar Abaye, you learn what Abaye said, and then you have a question. Rov asked a question on him. What did you mean? I don't understand what it is. Akashe means that there's Elem. You don't understand what it is. A Verstell, it's a cover of Memes from Torah. And the Rebbe, now we'll understand what's the difference between Nigle and Chassidus. Nigle, the Torah was darauf gekommen, wo from a Seichel Nushi soll das Teufel sein, as we learned before. Yeah? The Seichel Nushi, my Seichel, as to understand it, is doing a kushes. Das heißt, the Kash is a nachelik from Torah Gufe. It's a part of Torah, because it can be differently. If you talk about Seichel and Nushi, there's always, what do we say? There's two people, there's three opinions. When you talk about Seichel and Nushi, there's always Shilas in Kashas. And the Rebbe says a very geschmacky thing. I heard it from the Rebbe himself a few times when the Rebbe said it. A viele when einer wird lernen bloß a Kasche in Torah, is a mechuyev levorach lefoneh or bichas Torah. It's a very interesting debate. Somebody gets up in the morning and he has time to learn one thing. And he looked yesterday and he prepared it. Today he's going to learn a long Kasche from one Tanya and another Tanya. And the Teretz is going to learn tomorrow. The Choyre shouldn't have to do bichas Torah. Why? Because the Kasche is going to be nullified. Right? The Tanya is going to answer it. So the Kasha is not. The Rebbe says no. It's a part of Torah. It's a chelik in Torah. Torah that the Nigle could not be without questions. That's why if he learns only the Kasha, he has to make also bichas Torah. But it's a part of Torah. The Rebbe says, "Come do a kamapom." We've heard it a lot of times from the Rebbe. But in Seichel and Nushi, there is a long write-up. The Rebbe spoke about it from the Rebbe's father about the Sinyan, about the Shal, and but the Gemara talks about in the Siyum Hashas in Nide. That the Rab Sheba Hananya, there's a regime that the Rebbe wrote about it. The Ishtei Loit, she's metame or not, because she was a piece of salt. If salt is metame, so that's what the Rebbe's father said. That even this thing, if you learn only this, you have the same iskashros to the Eibishter and everything. And also it comes from the Chachamim, from the Goyim. It was Mitzrim. No, Anshe Alexandria. Shalom Anshe Alexandria, Rabbi Shua ben Hananya. Yeah. Weil in Seichel and Nushi can sich nicht gleich oplegen das Seichel Torah. It's impossible that you should get it. Chochmos is Borach. Even with Seichel and Nushi, but the Torah is still Chochmos is Lakotis Borach. Früher seine do in Seichel and Nushi Kashes, bis der Loi mit edelt euch sein Seichel, und ich soll mit der Lamit ist Torah. Mashen kommt in Mitzvah Torah, das soll nicht lernen. Mashen kommt in Mitzvah Torah, was ist nicht darauf getrogen geworden, Seichel and Nushi, as we learned before. What is that? No bloß fahren Seichel von Nefesh Elikis, it's only for the Nefesh Elikis, was beim Nefesh Elikis, leicht Torah. You don't need any questions. Is leist amon lo kashe. The Rebbe pushed explained very geschmack, but the Zohar says leist amon lo kashe. Oizvov. Noch mehr. Es ist yadua, as der Oivtu von alten Rebben mit teures Chassidus Chabad, befragt noch sein Gule Beites Kislev. What is the innovation? There was the Arizal, there was Rav Shimon ben Yochai was before, then the Arizal, and we have Reb Chaim Vital, and we have all these things that we have in order as it came, and then came the Baal Shem Tov, and then came the Magid. What did the Alter Rebbe innovate? Separated, completely two different things. There's Chassidus Chagas, Chassidus Chabad, the Alter Rebbe innovated. So the Rebbe says, what is the Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe? And especially after Yitzchak Kislev, that we all know the phrase, before Peterburg and after Peterburg, there was a completely different way of Chassidus. Is bestanden in dem, was hat Malbisch gewend die Yonim von Pnimis HaTeuro in Seichel Chabad. Pnimis HaTeuro, he brought it down in Seichel Chabad. Behoifen, as alle, till now there was special people, only who was purified, only who was a Neshome. The Alter Rebbe did, viele nicht gemezuchochim. Somebody is not purified. In his chutzo, is in a level of chutzo. So let's can verstehen mit sehr Seichel Lenush. That's the Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe. But what could be the Chiddush already from the Rebbe Rashab? If this is what the Alter Rebbe innovated, what's the Rebbe? The Rebbe is going to explain what the difference is between the Alter Rebbe, obviously the Rebbe im Efter, and the Rebbe Rashab. Aber auf all Pikein ist das known, ist das noch nicht gewesen in demselben Häufen, wie sogar Nigle der Teure. It wasn't like Nigle der Teure then. Seich Lenushi mitzad Atzmo yot gekend der Grecha Soge Gmuro in Primis der Teure. Yeah, but nicht gekannt. I couldn't understand it. She's not as Bishas Moti Masburg given. Ani in Primis der Teure, da Mashpia, in learned with him and he explained it to him, or to those by him, he understood it. And the Rebbe is going to give a Geschmack Dugme, how far it went, the understanding what the teacher gave him in Primis der Teure. Bedugme war Rav was lernt mit der Talmid der tiefen Seichel. Yes, the Talmud is learning with them something very deep. Was is nicht begeder as the Talmud with Sadat, so soll es keine Masse sein. It's impossible. Talmud should sit down and learn it by himself and understand it. Was a viele noch with the Rav is das Masbir. Here comes the key. What is the problem with such a thing that it's very deep and is explaining it to him? There's one thing lacking. What is it? Was a viele noch with the Rav is das Masbir und es legt sich bei ihm, kann der Talmud nicht gefunden eigene Eusches wie zu Masbir im Seichel. If it would have become he would have been tell it to somebody else with his own words. He couldn't. When he says it over to somebody else, he says it in the same words as the teacher gave. That means that it didn't become him yet. It's not Torah so yet. It's not him. This was till then. And das ist when the Chiddush von Rebbe nicht was so. Now we come to the bottom line. What's the Chiddush of the Rebbe Rashab? Er hat herumgetrunken den Jonen vom Primis der Teuro, beäufen als der Soge in See. Soll kennen sein in demselben Häufen, wer Soge als nicht der Teuro. What is that? Let's use again the other thing in the opposite way. After you learn Chassidus of the Rebbe Rashab, you could have your own words. It becomes so much use that you could give it over with your own words. Punkt wie Nigle der Teure ist Goli von Seichel Nushi, beäufen als Orvet in dem in der Seichel Gashmi. In dem selben Häufen soll Seichel Nushi sich sehr sein in Primis der Teure. The same thing. And now comes in the brackets the same as before. Bedugme v'arav, was trockt Arab dem Seichel Omok, zum Talmud, beäufen als der Talmud kennt noch sich sehr sein. He gives it them in a way that after that he's going to be able to walk himself and exert himself and toil himself, besich loi, und gefinnen, eigene Oisches, was Boris wird zu herausgeben im Seichel. This is the gift of the Rebbe Rashab. Und wie mir sagt, the Rebbe said we could see it clearly. Wir sehen in Amori, Chassidus Sheloi, and look at the Hemshech of Samarkov, especially Hemshech of Ayim Beis. How many years? 8 years, what was it?
6.
6 years. I'm based here. Gimel Daladay.
It's paid.
Oh.
8 years.
As the Zelbe in Yoni look at this, what the Rebbe says, very interesting, very clear. As the Zelbe in Yoni, same thing, same concepts, the same in Yoni. Velchaver is Bayern, the Mamor von den Nesei Chabad Shelefonov, kommen in seine Mamor mit der Richfusik Esberim. The Esberim makes that you should be able to understand it. Veoitzo is the Arzoas was Boras Latvorim, the way that he gives it out, the way that he tells it to you is in a signum for Seichel Nushi. Not Seichel Nefshalikis. Seichel Nushi can das Masbel sein mit seinen Oishes. You have already in your own words, you could give it over. Und begreifen and grespet, al derer wie es nimmt a dover Seichel von Nigle de Terror. Here comes the footnote number 32. יודע הפסקום של חסידים הראשונים, שכבוד קדוש אדמון שלוסינו הרמב"ם לתוירס החסידוס. Und der Fall, or the Rebbe, now we couldn't come back to the beginning. Why did he say that he's living it and not he's giving it? The Fall, the Rebbe, emphasized, was very careful what he said. It's not because of Shrivmiraim, because before he passes away, that's what he's saying. The Ksovim lo zichai. Weil das ist von die Auftuem von seine Ksovim. This is the Chidush in the Rebbe Rashab's Ksovim. A Seichel Nushi shel Odom, kann sie nehmen, bis das wird Teurosoi nikras al Shmoi. Sein, der von Otman der Eroi. So one of the things that we could learn is what the Rebbe says, that if you learn the Rebbe's Torah, these kashros that you have, yeah, I'm going in England, I'm living you the Torah, as the same as the Rebbe says, I don't have to ksav yours. Seine Verana Söhne, what could we learn from it? Seine Verana Söhne, there are some people who lernen Tage Pnimis Torah. Aber sie haben Meure zu fragen a Scheile, wenn sie verstehen nicht dem Davar Nilman. He learns, and he comes to a question he doesn't understand, he doesn't want to ask. Why? Wie fragt man a Kasche, wenn in Pnimis Torah? He knows that Pnimis Torah is least among Kasche, there's no asking questions. You don't understand. Evemunet. She's doch leist amon lo Kasche, says the Zohar. Versteht nicht, but he doesn't understand it. It's genug, he has a good teretz. Genug, the things that he doesn't understand, as alles was steht in Pnimis Torah, is emes, he's a believer. Whatever it says, I don't understand that, it's my song. Of them is the rent where the Rebbe says, no, b'shum oivim. As the Rebbe is was not preser given a saderech. And after you make psichas saderech, there's no say that you could not do it. It's a nesinas koyach and everything. As die Chassidus sollen kennen, benommen werden durch ein Seichel Nushi, in dem Oivim exactly wie Nigle de Teuro. Das heißt, Alimut, Be'iun, und in einem Oivim, Shakle Vetalje, as I said before, die Bukhaverim, Pilpul Talmidim, und als man versteht nicht an Ien, ist lo ja Beischen Lomit, it says in Pirkovis. Somebody who is shy is never going to be able to learn. Man darf fragen, you have to ask. Avada, viele, wenn man versteht nicht an Ien in Teuro, aber du comes something that you don't understand, so I'll say, I don't understand, I'm not going to do it. Euch benigle de Teuro, darf und muss sein. It's a must. As nas is koidem lenishma. There is one of the yechidus, and there was students by the Rebbe, and it's printed in Sefer Mada Emuneh v'Mada. So one of the guys told the Rebbe that if he thinks it's correct, you have to put on film. But before he puts on film, he wants to learn, he wants to understand what film is, and then he's going to put on film. But as of now, he doesn't understand, he doesn't know what it is. And the Rebbe gave him a very geschmack emotional. Somebody has Shalom is sick, and the doctors prescribe him a very important medication, otherwise, God forbid, what's going to happen. He says, no. I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to go study what the medication does, how the body works, how the medication works. You know what's going to happen? He's not going to need the medication. So the same thing is here also. Nasi comes before Nishma. You don't understand? It's your problem. Feels do, and then you're going to learn. Stone is saying Sofik Chas V'Sholem B'Amitas HaTorah. This for sure. There's no Sofik in Amitas HaTorah. The Rebbe, it says in 34, and you could see when he asks a question, you could see that it's not coming to argue with you or whatever. When he comes in and says, I won't understand, I don't understand what it says. The Rebbe says, there's not no Shelazus Ponim. Why? Because he knows that it's his problem. He doesn't understand because his mind is short. If it's asking, somebody's going to explain it to him. The Rebbe brings a very geschmack, Yerushalmi. It says in Chumash Dvorim, ki lo yidovo reiku mekem. Literally, what we learn is ki lo yidovo reiku. It's not a empty thing. The Rebbe is with us, and the Torah the Rebbe gave us, and everything's from the Rebbe. So the Yerushalmi learns very geschmack. It says ki lo yidovo reiku. It's not something that's nothing. And if it's nothing, it's mekem, it's your fault. That's what the Rebbe says. So, if it's reik, it's mekem. It's your fault. Here's the guy also. But this is from one side. It must be nasi before nishma. And if you understand or not, you have to know the Torah is emes, even if you don't understand it. Aber leider kann man nicht sein, avonas Torah mit Kabbalah Sol, verstehen ani lebur your mind, also versteht bis sich loi wer die Kasche geht rob, eure Pnimis HaTorah. Yes, when he asks the question, or the Gemara, when he asks the question of Abaye, and Rove or Fakert, or all the questions, you have to feel that the question is 100% correct. Und durch Limut Pnimis HaTorah, she's also b'Torahs Halolu, in Torahs Chassidus Chabad, and with learning Pnimis HaTorah, as Torahs Chabad brought it down, and especially the Rebbe Rashab, in a Neuvim von Avone v'Asogo Shleimo, al derech v'Asogo von Nigle de Torah, and the same as understanding the Nigle de Torah, ve'edos ha'achone kroivo, so is azman. As the Rambam finishes his Sefer, we finished not too long the Sefer Rambam in Sof Ilches Melochem in Yad HaChazoko. When Iyu Yisrael Chachomim, lost of the Rambam, Iyu Yisrael Chachomim Gdoilim, the Yodim Dvorim Astumim, we're going to know all the things that are now concealed. The Asigu Das Boirom, they're going to grasp and understand Das Boirom. Kefi Koyachodim, as much as a person could understand. Shenemar, Yeshaya Novi says, the prophet of the Nevuah, the prophet of the Geula, Ki Molo Oresdei Savaye, Kamaim Layom Mechasim. שיחת חוף מהחשבון, תופשין, ממבוב.